I think we're on the right path and have the right foundation in place, from the perspective of the economy. So just keep, obviously, stabilize, continue to layer features onward, and we'll carry forward from there.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amoymon. All right, Jeremy had a valiant fight with the shadow coins for his mic, and looks like he won. And he left. Please come back. In the meantime, let's have Kamishini no Yari coming back in for a question. Hi, you're muted right now.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I have written down a couple of questions. I'm gonna ask you now. The game launch turned out to be a little problematic and led to a lower interest of new players, and now the macro has crashed and people are now more pessimistic about it. That being said, people are actually afraid to invest in the game now. How do you guys see the new perspective for new players to join? And do you have any strategy to deal with that?
Stability. Again, the most important piece here is the economy. The economy is working despite problems. Working sustainable game economies will act as a beacon of hope and light in the middle of the market turmoil. And so I think it's a natural attraction on that front. Breeding kicks off. People are like, oh shit, here's all these new corns, right? There's consistent utility for new corns. We're the hungriest game from that perspective. We've still got all the major guild partners right here with us. I mean, again, I think I'd be a lot more worried, honestly, if we delayed the ship and we're trying to launch into kind of a brutal bear market. And then again, as these issues get resolved, I think the concerns around stability fade away and, we proceed forward. We're also not a game economy that needs 1 million players tomorrow to survive either. We've planned for slow and incremental growth of the economy and put in place things like the land vending machine and keystones, which kind of let it more naturally respond to new demand. And we also have quite the war chest if we really do need to begin flipping the switch on things like heavier performance marketing and things of that nature that are relatively familiar to us based on our experience as mobile game devs.
Okay, I have another question. How do you guys plan to maintain the economy of the game, seeing the risky scenario? People are going to get their profit and maybe don't reinvest on the game, like on breeding and etc. What are the benefits for a breeder to focus on rebreeding in the scenario instead of putting their profits and leaving?
I mean, short-term mindset is going to be short-term mindset. I can't prevent anyone from going that direction and attempting to do that. Again, if we have a sustainable economy here, it is naturally sticky. We haven't seen that yet. So a lot of these questions, I think, are applied after we've seen things like Axie and Pegaxie. And again, no one's really launched a game with the level of economic depth that we have. Also, too, it's shitty to hear dumping lowers prices and lowers the barrier to entry. And if you generate a fun game, we've heard many people come up and actually, I don't think anyone's bullshit in the community, their own community. They're having fun. That's rather unique in this space. And it's always been the path to sustainability. So economic depth protects us from, the idea that people are just going to flip and be short term. And the fact that we've actually built something that has emotional resonance and, true fun is how you survive in this space, right? It has always been about getting to the point where the barrier to entry is low enough that people are buying assets to play a game and not to profit from it. And I still see an opportunity for those who have purchased assets in the thousands of dollars to do well as they breed and expand the supply. So again, I think we've seen other games go through rough patches and survive, and we'll make it through this one.
Okay, I'm a huge enthusiast of the game, and I'm investing a lot of time. So my final question is about the gathering. The gathering rewards are adjusted daily. If yes, what is the regulation and rate behind it? The more people gathering, the lower will be the rewards for the rest of the people. Thank you.
You have to think about it from both sides, and it balances itself. Dumping of one asset within the Rainbow Marketplace obviously puts it on sell for others looking to buy it. And let me mute Slack. This is, this is Andy right here, a lead server engineer fixing all of your problems. So the purpose of the RMP Marketplace, the reason to make it an AMM is to naturally find price discovery, right? So we'll go through periods of time where things are cheaper. And again, that's actually lowering the barrier to entry for new players. And again, if the experience is fun, we continue to see people go out and shout about how they're excited and having fun collecting poop and stuff, we'll naturally onboard more players, and that will continue to support sustainability and growth within the economy over time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great questions. Thank you for coming up and asking a second set today.
All right, thank you so much, Kamishini no Yari. Here's round 2 of Shadowcorns versus JRB. The Shadowcorns nearly got him last round, but it looks like he has prevailed once again. Come on over, JRB.
You're too funny, Sparkly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. I think that's just an attestation to how difficult technology can be, right, Aaron?
I don't necessarily recommend that anyone gets into game development necessarily. It can be very, very rough.
I can only imagine with your verticals that you have to deal with. So jumping in real quick, piggybacking off of the penultimate speaker, second to last, they had mentioned about the marketplace. I'm a contributor over at AirSwap, which is the 11th largest DEX, and cut it short is that their market maker is more or less post-receive, so like an order book. So instead of having liquidity sit in the middle, which maybe someday unicorns might be fractionalized, or even there will be a liquidity pool where you put up ETH and put up a corn, and you might even be able to trade through it, right? Who knows? But long story short is they are interested in I might have them reach out to you, obviously, as a third proposal.
That would be phenomenal. You know, you've been coming up a lot the last couple of days, JRB. You want to come work with us? We're hiring.
I definitely would consider that more than you think. So definitely if there's a link that you guys have posted, if you guys want my my official doxed resume, I can shoot that over.
Yeah, I would love to see it, man. You've been obviously a very big supporter for a while, and yeah, I mean, this is kind of the beauty of this space is we can naturally find people who are attracted to the IP, attracted to what we're doing, and again, it's been kind of a thing we've been talking about the last few days. So I appreciate that you came up to chat today, and yeah, DM me. Let's continue that convo for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm trying to think about whether I should ask these questions or not. I'm gonna go forward anyways with them.
Sounds good. Fire away.
So one thing I'll try to keep it rapid fire because you've been on the line all day. So I told and now that you said that I joked with Sparkly just now that I might have to change my name to JRBW for J Rainbow.
I didn't realize that.
Can you guys still hear me? I'm getting a little bit of latency. I apologize about that.
Yeah, sorry. Ask your question again, please.
Aaron, can you guys hear me? I'm getting a little bit of latency on my end.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I would encourage the team to explore a unique solution to possibly seeing if they can work with the vault to unlock some of those LP fees. I know it's going to be difficult and it's probably a no, but that would obviously provide some additional liquidity to enter back into the project. So that's one thing. The second thing is that uh, is there any thoughts around exploring improving the market dynamics in terms of that right now, currently there exists a expensive lag built into the system in terms of buying something like let's say seeds and then planting them and then going to markets about a 15 hours delay
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, right? And so it doesn't really follow, you know, laissez-faire dynamics. That's something that maybe that the team could look at.
For sure. I think through things like building upgrades, et cetera, decorators, there are planned ways to continue to decrease and shorten those times,
Yeah,
right? But we really, I think, have to tie them towards like material sinks and costs, right? Versus just kind of saying, let's like retune it to be quicker, right? There really are some aspects of this where you want it to take a while, or you want the aspirational goal of investing and then obviously seeing efficiency from that investment. But for sure.
yeah. And one of the things that I would just as a solution, because I think everyone in the space should always, you know, it's one thing to come up with a problem, but you should always be solution oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, you know, maybe allow adult unicorns just to go to the market 3 times a day. That would give back on the quality of life aspect of it. So it's like, hey, get your actions done, make your chess moves. And then maybe you could handle the market volume by just adding additional layers of cascading energy. So maybe your first trip is 1 energy, your second trip is 2 energies, and your third trip is 3 energies. If you start to see some of that overlap in the market.
Not a bad idea. The design team is here and listening.
Perfect. Awesome. And then for rebalances, could you give any information regarding how often you might rebalance like gathering? And so like the thing I look at is like you're analogous to like a central bank, right? So you have to put out policy that the Fed actually has mandates, right? So their number one mandate is full employment, and their number two mandate is price stability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys essentially have to sit in the middle of those quarters and kind of dictate policy as well to ensure that the game is running optimally. And so, you know, while cornering the market is a great aspect of it, if that shuts down all interactions, obviously you guys need to move in and grease the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk about this a lot. We really are the Federal Reserve in the crypto unicorns DAO, and that comes with a lot of responsibility as we see the economy develop and ensure that it like continues to develop. It's one of the reasons we have so many different levers, and we are prepared to tune and balance over time. I have this aspirational goal of trying to tie it to things like fictional narrative, like the Shadowcorns are coming in, and now suddenly there's like a hard winter inside of the game, right?
Yeah.
And maybe a decorator system that allows you to kind of get around corruption seeping in or whatever. The team always gives me shit because I try and put blight in every game we've ever built.
Needed.
And it's definitely things like that where it's like you're absolutely right that we're in that position, and we have to pay attention and react and make changes to continue to maintain stability and balance. I think for me, the North Star goal is to try to layer that into fun fictional things that enhance the experience beyond just the mechanical of, hey, we're raising the reserve rate or something, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I'm half joking, but I think that maybe in the future we might be reading some corn-fed meeting minutes, published monthly or quarterly, right?
That's a great idea. Yeah, I like it.
Here's a softball for you guys, and this is probably floating around, but I'm in another group and they were all wondering this, so I'm putting it out there for the question to be asked. Does do adjacency bonuses affect gathering rewards?
Only time. Only gathering
Only
time.
time.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
See, it's an easy softball. All right, so last two ones that I'll go through are more sentimental things. First things first, I think I want to give a great shout out to the community management team. I think things have been very in a despair state due to the markets, and then obviously with us going through the bugs that we found in the system, which none of them were critical to the end of that. Hey, anyone had to rug the project. Like everything is full steam ahead, and it's a great thing to actually have that. But the CM team really, if you think about it, they've been sitting around like our personal therapists, right? A lot of people have been complaining about the bugs, and then all of a sudden the market turned down. So I really want to give kudos out to Sparkly, Fluffy, and everyone else on that CM team. They've done a fantastic job of keeping morale up and keeping everyone interacted. Kudos to you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll double down on that. We've got the best team in the industry on that front, and yeah, incredible group of people.
Definitely. So the last thing I'll do is I'm going to leak some Greek letter here, and it's not alpha. And you touched on it earlier when you said, looking at delta. And so the thing that I want to remind people of, I've been in this space for just as long as you, Aaron, maybe a little longer.
Okay.
Stating on like what you said for your buying. But the thing that I will say to everyone on listening is that, as the market has taken it on the chin, it's value season, right? And it's time for everyone to start looking at projects that are actually producing a product and not just promises. Eric can vouch on this and others who were around during that time in 2017, but a lot of that was just built on speculation, roadmaps, and nothing was delivery. A lot of projects were built off of, like they'd pump, 2, 3x based off of a logo redesign and not actually you being able to, utilize a 3D model in a functioning game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd say this to everyone, and this is not financial advice. And I do expect some people to start pillaging those PFP projects and running towards value. But I'd rather own a blue chip pumping out results than a PFP project with no raise, highly dependent on secondary market fees, and still sitting on a roadmap. If anything, these are the types of games that are going to push forward and they're going to make it to the next season, right? If you look at your alt plays from 2017 and the cycle before that with, Bytecoin and stuff from 2013, a lot of things doesn't survive, right? You have your main coins that survive and a lot of institutional backing behind that. But a lot of projects, they go to die off. And so I really see crypto unicorns as a healthy play here with a healthy treasury. And so I think there's bright things ahead for everything here. That's my attestation market report here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we're in a good position to keep our heads down, ship, and weather this winter together. So I'm excited to continue to fix issues, get stability, and begin layering new features on top. And from there, I agree. I think the future is bright. Thank you for coming up and definitely shoot me a DM. Appreciate all the help and support.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me up. Ooh.
Woo woo.
Ooh, woo. Ooh, woo. All right, everybody, time to go home. JRB1, your boy's winning today. Truly, we have saved the best for last. That wraps up our post-launch AMA number 2. Do you have any closing remarks, Aaron?
Again, thank you for the patience. I know that this has not been ideal, taking, even separating out the complete, relative market collapse. Again, I'll only get scared if we hit ETH at 98, and then I'll put forward a treasury proposal that we take a couple million of our USDC and we buy more ETH probably. Again, thanks everyone for their patience. Huge shout out to the team. It's just working their ass off across the board. We'll keep updates streaming today, tomorrow, into next week as we get ready to launch Evolution. Let's stay tight. Let's watch each other's backs. We'll get through it. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much to everybody. For people asking about the Pioneer program, I will shoot an announcement on that in community updates within today, PST. And we will update you on the new deadline for that. Again, we can't say this enough, but thank you so much to the community for being so supportive. The team is working hard every day to bring you a smoother gameplay experience with each patch and maintenance. See you at next week's AMA. We'll post a recording of this AMA on our socials if you would like to give it a re-listen. Don't forget to share this with your friends and fellow Unicorn fam who couldn't make it. If you have more burning questions, feel free to reach out on our support channels, Mod Support and Ask the Dubs. This has been Sparkly Unicorn with co-host Fluffy Unicorn.
This has been requested before, so I'm going to say it now. Ooh, and sheesh. Good night, everyone.
Bye all.
And text Stealthy Unicorn, by the way. Good morning, good night, and see you in game, Unicorn.